Hello, welcome to another good goal or bad defending Brentford versus Nottingham Forest. Obviously, the two Muppets in the Premier League. I won't be surprised if they go down. Absolutely awful. Coming in from a long throw. Actually, I don't think long throws are utilised enough. Uh, it's kind of funny. Some places I've been, people will throw the ball in from the halfway line to the 18-yard box. Anytime the ball goes out of play, they lob it into the 18-yard box because they can. It's not very. And the reason, okay, so the reason you do it isn't necessarily to create a goal scoring opportunity, but because it's a long throw, right? Anyone can step into this space here and put in a decent cross or put a ball in because of this threat. Everything changes. There's like a massive melee of players. Someone could just easily make a little hook run out the way, receive the ball, and away they go. And this is what the threat really does when you have this long throw. It creates this melee of mash of players in the middle. And that's why I really think you use it. Not to score from the long throw or get the flick on header or something like that. It's when you might do that. But this mayhem, that's what you want to cause, because then it can break people out of their shape. You can break them down easier. It all goes wrong when you have a threat of a long throw. But the long throw isn't the threat, if that makes sense. It's the chaos that's the threat. It's the open space that you make from this. It's not this direct ball in. As we'll see as we play this right now, ball comes into the box, and that happens. Bump. So we get a defender who heads the ball, but because of this melee of players, all it ends up doing is going straight into him. We're marking there. We're happy with that. We're doing our job. But this melee, this like consumer of players has run around just destroying everything that's good in the game. All of a sudden, though, that extra space I was saying out, remember, if you want to score goals or defend, just hang around this spot here. This 18-yard spot around here. That's the spot. Just hang around that. You will get goals. You will be. I think Frank Lampard made a career out of standing there. So let's play it forward a little bit. Bump. There we go. Now, this is what happens. This guy picks the ball up, but look what happens, right? As that's going on, everyone else is doing handy wavies and stuff, and the melee of players is now moved up to here. These guys are still man marking. He hasn't yelled them to get the hell out of the box, and if they did and they pressured the ball, this guy would have been offside, and they don't. They don't see the danger. They don't understand what they're really doing there, man marking. The ball isn't going to come into these guys, and they're going to turn and score if you can pressure out and get to it. There's too much mess happening, all because of this long throw. They're normal, like if this was a corner, that keeper would have been yelling at him to push up out of the box and make that separation of space. But because it's a long throw, everything is just gone out the window. Remember, they can't be offsides from that. Now they are offside. Well, this guy would be offsides if they stepped up, so it's just a mess. Ball goes across, bump, falls to him. He's playing them on side. One of them does get up quick enough, which is great. He doesn't, and that's the problem. All of a sudden, you're 1-0 down because you're just called off. Just everything that you're doing is wrong, and it's in the back of the net. What I mean by wrong, it's not done quickly, snappily done. Get out the box, pressure. Everyone stopped their brain, and everyone switched off for a minute, and that's where that goal comes in. Okay, here we are. We're coming up to the next goal. Now, the amount of times I argue with people that are supposed football coaches, because they've got a coaching license and they've got their A license, and they have no idea what they're talking about. And one of them is where the wall needs to be. Right, the purpose of the wall is whatever the goalkeeper generally chooses to and how he feels comfortable. Normally, the wall is covering one side and he's covering the other. Oh, that's a terrible line. Let me see if I do that better. What I mean by that is this post here is what the wall is covering from that distance. If you draw it like that and you think of it like that, that's what he wants them to be covering, that side there, and he's going to cover that other side. So he only has one side to deal with. So the wall has to do its job, has to defend that. And sometimes what he normally has is this, depending on the keeper, mind you, I've seen keepers do different things with it. The last player of the wall is actually past the post. Are you with me? So it gives him a bit more coverage. A lot of goalkeepers don't do that. They put the last player as the post, so they've got more coverage of the wall, but it depends on the goalkeeper and how he's really setting up to do it. And this is what happens and why you do it. When this strike comes in, bump, it goes straight through the wall. This is because what everyone will do is blame Keylor Navas here for letting this goal in. It's got nothing to do with him. He's doesn't done his job. He set his wall up on the one side perfectly to defend this side for him, so he doesn't have to worry about this side unless, of course, the guy scores a worldie. So he's not really worried. So he's taken an extra step over here, which he should be doing. So he's covering his side. And, of course, the wall doesn't do its job. And then the ball goes into the back of the net. Nothing to do with the keeper. He'll get the blame, but these guys are to blame because they're terrible at the football. And I'll find a better angle and show you exactly what I mean. Let's see what I can do. Actually, I'll tell you what does it. Before I find that other angle, I want to show you. This is the culprit. He makes the mistake in the wall, and his teammate here, it genuinely recognises it. Watch the body language. Watch what he does with his arms. Looks at him. What are you doing? He's going, "Oh, it's not my fault, bro." Yes, it is your fault. It has nothing to do with the goalkeeper there. That's completely you. He's identified it. You're not taking responsibility. Yeah, dude, you're lucky you're not on my football team. Oh my God, the screaming and the kicking I'll be giving you after when you've made a mistake, not holding your hand up and being honest about it. Jeez. You all make mistakes in football. It's about how honest you are with yourself about when you make them. That's the problem. Look at what's going on there. He turns like a coward, and the ball goes. And the only point there, which otherwise it would have just hit the wall, hit his. Like, honestly, he jumped up, it would have hit him in the chest, and doesn't. And the keeper, to his credit, almost gets there. He's so far away, he almost gets there, but he doesn't. All because of this guy here not doing his job in the wall, and that's why he's bad at the football, and his team is rubbish. Okay, so we're starting on this last go out here, out wide in a nice 1v1. Okay, um, his body shape's wrong. This guy here already. He can just run past him. He's square on with him. I hate it when players stay square on. It gives the advantage to the attacker because he can chop and change any way he wants. And the moment he chops, it turns this guy's body in a different way. I can't stand that. Just can't stand it. So let's see what happens as he goes. He goes in a bit, does the little chop. As he does, the guy steps, and he's over because his body language is wrong. He's giving more space here. And how I visualize it, if you ever really want a good idea of how to do it, is you can do the squares that I do. I just do it in my head though. If you're doing that, actually that's a terribly drawn idea of what I'm talking about. Let's do it better. Do it better for you so you can see what I mean. He stepped into this square here. That means he's going to overstep into this way. That means you can come back and beat him this way. You can see that with his body shape. And if you visualize these little zones, like the 1, 2, 3, 4 zones, you can see it clearly. You'll start to be able to picture it in your mind before it happens. And that's exactly what's happened here. He's overcommitted to the one way, so he's going to go pushing back the other, and then all of a sudden he's done. See, overcommits, now he has to go back the other way. Because he steps forward, he overcommits, and now he just goes straight past him with the area he overcommitted. Now, he's trying to do a great thing by holding on to him instead of actually understanding how to defend. And there's a couple other little things he was doing wrong as well, is he wasn't backing up and keeping the space between him and the attacker the same distance. He was letting the attacker get closer and closer so the attacker could do this. But mind you, give the attacker some credit because he still had to beat the idiot, even though the idiot gave him every opportunity to do it, and he's running into the box to whack it in the net box. As he goes in though, bump, fakes it, bump, and now we take a deflection. And then the next thing we know, it's in the net box. To be honest, it's just terrible goalkeeping. Well, I don't know. Keeper's kind of unsighted. I don't want to be mean to the keeper because he actually watched a bit of this game and he kept them in it. He played great. But it's just awful, and it's in that bottom corner. I want to see if I can find a better sort of angle for when it was. Actually, here's the angle. It's not a deflected shot. It's actually a decent shot. I'm not giving the striker credit, and he snuck it in there. Past these two, all these players here. The keeper just couldn't quite get there. Keeper, you had a great day. I'm sorry to slag you off, but this is your fault too. Because, yeah, it's always the keeper's fault. That's why everyone always seems to blame. Now, I'll tell you right now, as a coach, it's never the keeper's fault. The keeper's never the problem. It's everybody else's. Also, when that guy had him 1v1 out there, one of these other idiots should have come out and double teamed him, but he didn't. We won't worry about that. Well, I'll see you next time.